Now there's been a lot of talk about the Active Directory connector in the previous videos, and let's just go over some basic information now about the Active Directory connector. First of all, you get this thing off the Exchange 2000 CD setup menu, but it's hidden, and I'll have to show you where it is, and I'll do that in just a little while. Now when we install the Active Directory connector, it will automatically install Active Directory connector tools, and I'll show you those shortly. Now the tools lead you through the migration process in 4 main steps. These are actually laid out for you in this snap-in that you're going to open that are the ADC tools. First of all, there's tool settings, then there's data collection step, then there's a resource mailbox wizard step, and then there's a connection agreement wizard. Strong recommendation here. Make sure you pay attention to this. You're generally better off accepting all Active Directory connector tool recommendations. Now Microsoft has built this thing and it's doing a lot of checks and a lot of verifications in the background for you, and unless you're absolutely positively sure, just accept ADC tool recommendations whenever it makes any. Again, you want to try this in a test environment first and make sure that these recommendations are going to give you what you need. Now, the Active Directory connector's job is to populate Active Directory from the Exchange 5.5 directory service. It will get mailbox information, custom recipient information, distribution list, public folder information, users, contacts, group information. It'll get all that stuff for you. Once we've installed that thing from the setup, we are going to click Start All Programs, Microsoft Exchange, Active Directory Connector, and then we'll see the Active Directory Connector tools to get this thing going. So let me go out and show you exactly what's going to happen with all this. First thing I'm going to do is going to pop in my Exchange 2003 CD, and I want to show you how to set this thing up. Notice here's our startup screen, and we're going to run the Exchange deployment tools. So we'll click on that. Now, what do we want to do? We want to deploy an Exchange 2003 server. That's the way I'm going to do it here. Now notice, here's our question. What are we exactly trying to do? Are we trying to do coexistence with Exchange 5.5, with Mix 2000 and Exchange 5.5, and so forth? We want to do coexistence with Exchange 5.5. And if we go down through the list here, there's a lot of other information that I'm not going to drag you through right now. But if you'll notice on this first page, we have to go past it. We go to the next page. And we'll run forest prep and run domain prep. But in the previous video, I talked about the steps. Well, here are the steps right here. When you tell it coexistence, and Microsoft's done a fantastic we're just going to install the Active Directory connector because I want you to see this thing. Now, so I'll run the setup. So we'll let this run. And what I'm going to do now is I'll just click Next. I'll accept the terms, select the component I want to install. I'll put both components on there. It's telling me where do you want to put them. I have to put my administrator name and password, and then this is going to install. And I'm going to pause the video and I'll come back after it's installed. Well, as you can see, we've now completed installing the Active Directory connector. So I'm going to click Finish here, close all this out. Now to get to when I click on it, notice they come up. Notice here are my steps that I mentioned earlier, and so I go through these and it steps me through the process and gives me information. Very easy tool to use. I just wanted you to see this stuff, and that's some basic information on Active Directory connector.